Right, for more on our top story, let's go to Lawson Naidoo, who is a civil society activist and commentator. He joins us now from Cape Town. Lawson, welcome to the program. Is there a sense of disbelief that this has actually happened, given so many failed attempts to remove Zuma from power? What's your reaction?
Well, I think, there's a sense of relief that the nightmare that South Africa has gone through over the last 9 years of a President Zuma presidency is finally coming to an end. And as Lindsay has said, the speech that he gave this evening was very difficult to read at times. But it was, on the other hand, very typical of Zuma. We've seen in a number of recent court cases that he's been involved in where he's backed down at the very last moment, knowing that he was going to lose. And I think in this case, he realized that he had lost the confidence of his political party, the African National Congress, and he was really left with very little choice. He either had to resign tonight or face the embarrassment of being removed from office through a motion of no confidence in Parliament tomorrow. So he had very little room to maneuver at the end. He tried to portray himself as a constitutionalist, yet he spent the last few years disobeying and violating that very constitution that he was seeking to uphold today. So I think some of what he said this evening rang very hollow amongst many South Africans.
And just paint a picture for us of his legacy, the simple fact that he was able to stay in power for so long.
Well, I mean, that's one of the legacies that we're going to have to live with, because what he has done in order to stay in power, he's put his personal interests and those of his business associates and his family ahead of the national interest, and in fact, even ahead of his political party. And so the legacy that we face is one of a country that is engulfed with increasing levels of corruption, of state capture, and of the hollowing out of key institutions of governance, such as the prosecuting authority, the police service, and other organs within the criminal justice sector. And that's going to take us a long time to rebuild those institutions, to rebuild public confidence in those institutions. So, in a large sense, that's the legacy of Jacob Zuma. He's taken us a long way back from the vision of South Africa that is seen in the constitution that President Mandela sought to push forward during his tenure as president of this republic.
And you touched on it a bit there, Lawson, which is how do you think his resignation is going to shape South African politics in the coming months?
Well, I think there's a huge challenge for one assumes that it will be Cyril Ramaphosa, the recently elected president of the African National Congress, who will take over from President Zuma either tomorrow or on Friday. And he's going to face a number of deep challenges, because what President Zuma has also done is to weaken the internal functioning of the ANC, and the structures within the ANC will need to be rebuilt, and the ANC will need to portray itself as an organization that is capable of leading South African society from a moral authority point of view, and it's got its work cut out in the next 15 months before we face the next general election in 2019. So there's a lot of work for Cyril Ramaphosa and his team of people to do when they come into office to assure South African people that our constitutional democracy is intact, that government will act in the best interest of the people. So there's a lot of work to do. But I think Cyril Ramaphosa has got a lot of support within South Africa, from within the African National Congress and from broader society. And what we saw today was, ahead of the potential motion of no confidence tomorrow, was opposition parties together with the ANC saying the time has come for us now to get rid of Jacob Zuma, to roll up our sleeves and to start to rebuild this country.
Lawson Naidoo from Cape Town, thanks for being with us.